Hey folks, welcome to week 3 of Hacktoberfest. We have with us Tapas Adhikary and Kaushal Joshi. Tapas is a YouTuber. He's a content writer on Freecode Camp. There's a good chance you might have seen him already. And he's already got his YouTube channel up. And there's Kaushal, who's an open source enthusiast and a dev too. So this is the week 3 actually that we're going forward with. So week 2 submissions have gone in. We've got a lot of amazing articles coming in. And the review is going on. And like we'll be getting out the list of people who have actually put up the content, and like the review is going on. It'll come by week 3, and by then everybody can start researching on week 3 topics, which will be rolling out right in the middle of this conversation on our Discord channel. So, guys, welcome to Closer Look at ReactPlay. I'll handle stage over to Tapas.
Thank you.
And Kaushal.
Yeah, sure. All right. Thanks a lot, Isaac. So, hey everyone. This is Tapas, and I kind of an open source enthusiast. Been contributing to open source for a while now. Also maintaining several open source projects, and we're going to talk about one of them today extensively. Kaushal is community member of the project called ReactPlay that you will be kind of getting into very deep dive. And Kaushal, you want to just quickly introduce yourself before we get started?
Yeah, sure. Thanks. So I'm Kaushal, currently open source, like exploring open source and technical blogging. I'm part of ReactPlay ever since it started. Academically, I'm a final year computer science student, and yeah.
Cool. All right. So we are here today to kind of take a closer look at ReactPlay and what ReactPlay is, understanding that, and how to kind of contribute to ReactPlay. There are various aspects that we would like to cover. But before we even get into ReactPlay, I would like to take a few minutes to talk about open source in general, because that will set certain stage. And when you look into ReactPlay, we'll start looking into kind of through those lenses and understand the purpose of it more clearly, right? So as the name suggests, and many of you probably know that as the name suggests open source, it means the source is open. The source code is open to kind of view, open to extend, open to modify, open to distribute, right? So that's the definition of any open source code, basically. And the project having an open source code is known as open source project. And if the end goal is to produce a software, it's called open source software. So as simple as that, no rocket science in that. And as we are in October month, and in this month, we are celebrating open source through an event called Hacktoberfest that's organized by DigitalOcean and its other partners. And, this particular event is specifically for people like who want to start their journey on open source, want to kind of explore like what open source is, want to get really pumped up by contributing to open source. This is the event for them in general, but for veterans also, like who have already contributed in the previous year or year before them, it's also their chance to kind of mentor many new guys joining this bandwagon of open source contributions. So I take the moment and the chance to kind of mentor and make people understand how different ways that they can actually contribute to open source throughout the month of October, taking many projects that in hand. So you also probably heard about that, the low code and no code contributions. Kaushal will be talking about that when his chance comes. So the low code and no code contributions is something that I would like to mention here. Like open source is not only about modifying source code and changing source code for the betterment of any feature. You should look at open source from the perspective of betterment of the entire project as a whole. Now, if your project having a customer-facing documentation and the documentation is having a problem, so anybody without knowing the code of that particular project or product can actually fix that documentation problem. So it means it's a no-code or low-code contributions for probably that particular project, right? So and that is well accepted. So when you are targeting as a newbie to contribute to an open source project, don't really take a backseat saying that, okay, that particular project is using a technology or using certain things which you don't understand much. your scope of contribution is not just about the code. Your scope of contribution is much, much beyond that. You can contribute to testing. You can contribute making the user experience better. You can contribute to documentation. You can be an advocate of that particular project. You have lot of stuff to do in open source. And while doing that, I think you should also look forward to build networks. So in today's world, building network, being in the community is as important as coding, right? If we just code in silos, sitting inside the room, and we're not putting things in public and now not socializing it, I think we will take a longer time to kind of get there where we want to be. But at the same point of time, if we socialize, if we do networking, if we be part of a community or start building community, I think we'll be building a lot of references around, and that will in turn help us to kind of grow, maybe getting a job quicker or building our dreams for true, right? So open source always put forward that door in front of you, because you get to interact with many people whom you don't even know. But you have to work with them day in, day out, keeping your soft skill on the table and making things work along with your technical stuff. So if you have never, ever done open source contribution, I guess this is time. You can actually get started with open source contribution. And with that, I'm going to start talking about ReactPlay. So, so the ReactPlay is a project, and that we have started, 6 months, 5 to 6 months back, mostly.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And with some vision of it. So I'll probably first show you like what ReactPlay is by bringing my browser. I'll share my screen in a moment, because it will be good if I just show and tell. That way it will be easy to connect. So I guess my screen is kind of visible to everyone, and I'm going to kind of show the ReactPlay interface. Okay, so if you go to reactplay.io, you should see the ReactPlay interface. And if you go in the month of October, you're mostly going to see a big banner called HackerPlay. The reason being, in the month of October, while Hacktoberfest is going on, we are encouraging people to take part in a hackathon that we are hosting along with a partner called Nhost. It's another open source project where we encourage people to build application, based on certain criteria and ground rules. And we want to kind of review them personally and try to see, like, at the end of it, people are really building some cool projects, as part of ReactPlay. But what ReactPlay is and how it came into picture. So ReactPlay, basically a platform, an open source platform, mostly for React developers at this point of time, where, if you're learning React, you're probably going through a lot of tutorials, you're probably going through a lot of YouTube videos, and you are actually following the tutorial or following the teacher who is teaching you a particular React concept. And you are probably building what exactly your teacher is building on YouTube or on the tutorial, right? You're following that. But I think that learning really not covers that, right? Learning is beyond that. So if you're learning a tiny concept and you're following the tutor to kind of build something, whatever your teacher is building is good, but it's not good enough. You also need to build your own use case. You also have to practice your own case studies. You also have to do your own projects so that you solidify the concept that you're learning at the daily basis. And when you do that outside of the course, in most of the cases, the course creator or the writer of an article or a tutorial is not going to sit with you and tell you, hey, this is the right way of doing this. You have gone through it from my tutorial. You have gone through it from my YouTube video. But you are probably not doing it correct because you are trying to build your own project and you're doing something possibly wrong here. Now, who is supposed to tell you that? Probably a mentor or a teacher. And it is very difficult to kind of find a one-on-one teacher who is going to tell us like every mistake that we are making in the code for free. So that is where the idea of ReactPlay came in. Like, why we all are learning, we all are trying to share what we are learning. Why don't we do it in more openly? Why don't we create an open source platform where people can build their project, and it is not randomly just building the project and doing it publicly. Rather, while they're building the project, they also go through a journey of accomplishments. So how do they go with the journey of accomplishments? It means that they start with an idea, they start building it with the baby step, and while building that, we review their code. By we mean that the people who have knowledge of React, have working experience of work, with React, and have some good, fair understanding of how things should work properly, right? So in this case, what will happen is like, the ReactPlay platform is going to give that particular openness to everyone who wants to kind of create project and want to socialize their project once the project has been created. While doing the entire stuff, what is their gain? Their gain is like they gain the knowledge of how to do the things right way, what is the standard of coding, how to follow certain coding standards so that they can write their next project following all the things that they have learned through that journey. So ReactPlay is actually working towards providing that platform. And if I go to the project, you can see like there are a bunch of projects already there. There are a bunch of projects that are already created and contributed by people. And we can actually go inside each of this project and try to see like what individuals have created. So for example, this particular project I'm taking is a Flipkart effect. The project has been created. It's a beginner level project. It uses certain concept of React. If you're coming from the React background, you will kind of get this very easily. Now this is fine, this is a project, but if I am someone who is coming to see like, okay, I probably need to build something called a Flipkart effect, and what will be the code that I can actually look into to start building that. So this is a demo of it, but at any point of time, you can actually go to the code of it, where you can pull the code. It exactly that explain like what is this project about. You can get into the source code of it. You can look into the source code. The source code is open because it is open source. You can even take this particular source code to your project and kind of start using it. So both the coins are seen here. Like one, a person is coming to the platform and contributing to by creating the project, and the second person who is consuming what has been created, not only from the demo perspective but also from the coding perspective. So this is what we want to encourage the folks who would like to kind of contribute to ReactPlay. Please come with any idea you have and start building. We will help you in every step where you stuck. We'll help you, like if you stuck with CSS, we'll help you if you stuck with any React concept. We'll help you if you stuck with, in general, anything that you have questions and you are looking for certain kind of guidance, right? You can join our Discord channel. We'll share the links, towards the end of it. And then as I'm talking about ideas that you can actually come up with, the platform also provides a bunch of ideas that you can build upon. So you already have some of the ideas out of the box that you can go ahead and start creating. Or you can start a discussion like, hey, I'm actually interested to create this React editor, but I don't know how to get started. Let's start a discussion. Once you start a discussion, it gets started. One of us will jump onto it, try to help you out, and then kind of get started with, the implementation of it. All right. So this is the project so far. And as I told that one of the aspects of the project is definitely learning and sharing, but there are various other aspects that exist. We want to encourage everyone to be part of ReactPlay and think big. So when you talk about ReactPlay, it should not really end with the client-side front-end React related development. We want you to think big, and we want to think broad in terms of doing the full stack, web application development. So the whole purpose of the HackerPlay going on in the month of October is like for you to build an application which is like full stack application, having a React as a front end and then any back end that you are actually getting into, and then you are building something which is like maybe useful, make it open source, and we'll be evaluating each of this project, looking into the source code, the nature of the code, the cleanliness and everything. So that there is another learning circle that you can actually go through. Apart from that, we also have the blogging and content creation that Kaushal will be talking about. And, we also like a community, like we exist on Twitter and we keep sharing stuff that we are learning, almost on a daily basis. So you can actually go ahead and check our handle over there, ReactPlay.io. And this is where I want to spend some time is like, today, I think we have crossed 50 plus contributors. May not be all the contributors is shown here. It's showing probably top 30 over here. So if you see like all these 50 contributors, not like that they have made a contribution to create the projects, which we call play in ReactPlay. They have also made contributions in making the platform better. They have made the contributions in terms of creating content. They made the contribution in terms of managing the social media, for example, on the Twitter, and very recently a LinkedIn footprint. So the contribution is, again, I was talking about open source. I want to relate it with ReactPlay. The contribution may not be just with the code. It can be like, anywhere around that kind of helps the project. So please check it out, ReactPlay.io. IO, you will get kind of more information, and we're always happy to kind of help you with all the information possible. At the bottom of the page, you get the Discord link. Please join in so that we can discuss a lot of stuff on Discord. Okay, the next thing that I want to kind of quickly touch base is about our project on GitHub. So if you click on this, you get to the project on GitHub, and I'm going to kind of probably enlarge it a bit. Yeah. So the under ReactPlay organization on GitHub, there are a bunch of projects exist. And in the month of October, as part of Hacktoberfest, most of the projects are accepting contributions. So you will find the issue marked with Hacktoberfest when you go to these repositories, and you will be able to kind of pick up something which is not taken by someone, and you can always contribute to this one. And if you are not contributing to Hacktoberfest yet, it's not late. We are just halfway mark. You still have half of the month there. So get started. It's late than never. So we will be able to kind of also help you out if you need any kind of help over there. Now, if you don't find an issue like that, you can actually take it up. That's perfectly fine. But we would strongly encourage you to kind of play around the application. And we are human, and moreover, we are developers, so we will be definitely have bugs in the application. So you can actually find them, report them, and can go to the next level of going ahead and fixing them. So that also count to your Hacktoberfest contribution. And even not everything, I just explained like how you can actually come on board with this platform and start creating your own projects, which we call play. That you start creating, that become your Hacktoberfest contribution. And beyond even that, we will also talk about how you can, make some no code and low code contribution when Kaushal taking over with the content stuff that he is going to kind of talk about it. I touched everything, but except one. Before I pass on to Kaushal, and then we'll take questions later, is like, how do we create a play, right? I have not really covered that journey. So once you go to the ReactPlay website, you have a big create button over here. Now in the production mode, for example, reactplay.io, if I click on the plus create, it is going to throw me certain documentations. Like it will tell like how to create a play and things like that. Now you might think, why exactly like that? When I click on create, it should ask me to create a play, right? But if you notice, like this is a platform for developer. So it means that there should be a development environment associated so that you can actually start coding. So this create button actually will be enabled for you to develop a play only when you are running this application in the dev mode. Okay, so we are going to show that in a while. Once you click on this create on your running this application in the developer mode, the development mode locally, not in the production mode, and you click on this create button, it will automatically ask you like, what will be your project name? What is your GitHub ID? What is the description of this project? You just give some basic metadata, follow certain step, and boom, a skeleton of your first project will be created inside ReactPlay. After that, you can write any code to make your play richer, make your play better. And then once you satisfy that, okay, this is something that I have built so far, now it is time for me to kind of put it for a review, just go ahead and create a pull request and you are done. We'll jump on it. We will review your pull request. And once we go back and forth, we both are satisfied, like, it looks good. We are going to merge that pull request. And once we merge that pull request, then the play that you were creating in the development mode will come and sit here. It will, appear over here for everybody to view. So you can go to any play and just kind of share them, all over social media, like where you did the code and things like that. So that's basically what the platform is right now, but we have a lot more vision. And I'm very glad that many of them are getting cooked as part of Hacktoberfest itself. People are contributing towards our vision. For example, you want to build a leaderboard, like who has created more number of plays, who has created more contributions to the platform. People are working towards it. We want to build a profile automatically out of ReactPlay platform. For example, if I click on Franklin's link today, it is taking the thing to GitHub. But we want to create a page within the application itself which shows all about Franklin, all the plays that he has created, all the blogs he has written, his social media footprint, his bio, and everything. And anybody possible will be able to kind of see all about Franklin, and Franklin himself will be able to share that page link with anybody to say, hey, this is what my contributions on React, this is what I'm doing on React, how awesome that would be, right? So we have a lot of stuff, so such things kind of going on as part of this Hacktoberfest, and I'm sure that we'll be able to kind of accomplish. So before Kaushal, I probably pass it to you, if possible, just quickly show the create workflow and then kind of get started with the content. But before that, I'll see the chat, and if there is any question, I'll answer in the meantime. Okay, so hello everyone, hello folks. Week 3, hello folks. By the way, great article. Okay, looking forward to it. Thank you, sir. So yeah, I don't see any project and any question to me as such at this point of time, but I'll be able to kind of.
Yeah.
Or is there anything?
Neither do I.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
There is nothing, right, as such at this point. Okay. Sure, you can take it over. I'll just stop my screen sharing, mute myself.
Okay, so first I will show you how to create a new play. My screen is visible, right?
Yes.
Okay, so as Tapas said that this is ReactPlay IO, so basically in production mode. And here, if you try to create a new play, it will redirect you to this page, and you cannot directly create a play from this production. You have to have a local host, like local copy of the project to create a new play. And most of you must know this, but still, first you fork the project into your own repository, and then you clone it to your local system, and then work to it. But to create a new play, first you have to create a new issue and tell us about it so we can assign it to you. So basically new issues and new play. Here you, let's say something like this, and something, explain and agree to code of conduct, and then submit the new issue. And then after that, well, someone will assign it to this issue. And this is important, and I'll explain this later. Well, once you have, let's say, created a copy at your local system, basically create a new play. Just give me a minute. I will just keep this open. So basically create a new branch. Let's say created a new branch. And from here, maybe you will face some difficulties because there are some React 18 version issues. So you have to install, like if you face any issues, you have to just legacy PR deps. And if everything goes well, just yarn start or npm start if you are using npm. Here you will be asked to install this create React Play. Just yes.
Okay. I was saying that by the time your yarn install goes through and get installed, you want to talk about the blogging part and then
that would also nice. So the other part of a React Play is blogging. So we help kind of newcomers or even people who are already into blogging to get better in blogging, because when we talk about software development or anything about our career, so development in general, we often focus on just programming aspect of it. So like how to become a better programmer, or how to use these particular things, let's say in React, Next.js or whatever. But we often neglect important part that will help us to become a better developer, either working in, let's say, open source or in freelancer or in industry, like in a big team, that is technical writing to be precise. And the one simplest way to get better in technical communication and technical writing is writing blogs. So I myself, I'm a technical blogger. I started it before ReactPlay existed, and it's been almost 1.5 years now. I faced many issues when I was a beginner because I had actually no one to tell me that, okay, I should do this or I should do this to get better. I just hacked around, tried a bunch of things, and just trial and error. I started figuring things out. But well, with ReactPlay, we mainly focus in 3 things in ReactPlay, which is code, community, and content. And the content, well, blog.reactplay.io, we have a separate blog where we host and publish our blogs posted to our community. Here we accept blogs that are related to web development in general, or computer science or software development, mostly front end, but even back end or anything. Let's say if you created a play and had a nice experience, or you learned new things while creating a play, or let's say you had a major issue while creating a play, but somehow solved it or helped someone else in the community or something like that. But you have some experience, you have some learnings, and you want to share to that. Now, of course, you can share to that, share those blogs in your personal blogs and etc. But for that, well, as a beginner, as I said, you need someone who's already experienced and who has information about blogging to kind of help you to review and edit your blog and tell you, okay, you can do this better, or well, this is actually good. You should try continuing with that particular thing or the strategy you're following. So with ReactPlay, we have a blog. Just give me a minute. Okay. We have a blog, and here we publish blogs created by our members. You can be a member too if you're not already one. Here you can see that Deepak has posted a blog about his his recipe app that he created for our ReactPlay community, which uses context API. So he explained what he learned while creating that play. Here Vasanti Kriya was hacking around with MongoDB in a free time and explained about MongoDB schemas. So you are not limited to our just project. So we are not just limited to, okay, you have to just create a project or write a blog around our project or our community. You're free to write anything about computer science, software development, but web development in general. So to create a blog, publish a blog to ReactPlay, first you need to have an access to post something to ReactPlay that we will share a public link soon. And one thing that there are a few rules and regulations, of course, that I want to discuss. That first thing is, it's okay if you are a beginner. As a beginner, I had many doubts and insecurities around me before I started blogging, like, okay, this was already posted by somewhere, or there was also video or blog something. Well, you don't need an unique idea if there has someone already posted it, but you have your unique flavor, right? No one can copy that unique flavor. So it's okay if the idea is already used by someone, but just make sure that there is no exact similar topic in our ReactPlay blog. So let's say MongoDB schemas, it would be kind of redundant if you create a blog, write a blog about MongoDB schema. So number one thing, just make sure that whatever you're writing or you want to write is not already posted in the blog. Second thing is, well, no plagiarism. Well, as I said, everything is already created and you just have to make better or add your own flavor. But that doesn't mean that you have to copy everything and just use some paraphrasing tool and everything to just change active voice to passive voice and just correct some grammar and stuff. No, you have to make your own flavor. That's copy pasting or paraphrasing is not one. If let's say plagiarism is detected in your blog at some point, well, we don't have any actions yet. But yeah, if you are, let's say, using code snippet or let's say talk like a quote from someone or something book, well, you can just cite that, like, okay, here is a quote. This is not that we do in blogging, like quote, don't use quotes, but here is a blog from the quote from this book, and which was by this author, and here is the quote, and just you can use markdown to highlight that. And that's pretty much it. We will share, of course, the link at the end that how to add your own blog to this ReactPlay. Even this Hacktoberfest, if you have already participated in Hacktoberfest, that's very good. Congratulations. But let's say if you haven't and you're still looking for opportunities, ReactPlay blog also, like the ReactPlay community also accepts no code, low code contributions. Well, you can see the blog right here. And as Tapas said, no code, low code means anything that helps the community to grow, which is not directly code. So basically not code and in program. So you can help with writing or designing or advocacy or testing, that we will discuss about it later. But pointing out and narrowing down to blogging, if you write a blog here that is a part of a ReactPlay blog, which is a part of our community, you can have it like you can create an issue to our ReactPlay repository, like ReactPlay/Hacktoberfest, to create a new issue and tell us about it. Okay, I wrote a blog, I did this things and pasted this link, and you can get that like Hacktoberfest valid contribution to it. So that was the part. So let's see if my hacking is okay. something is here. Let's see. Yarn start. If you have any issues or doubts about blogging or anything that I just said, feel free to just chat is open.
I think everyone's been feeling so happy about the whole event. Phenomenal watch time too. So, if there are any questions on the floor, we could actually take them up, right, Tapas?
Yes.
Okay.
Just wait for a second.
Okay.
I think that's mostly that. So, guys,
Yes. I would be happy to answer
it's been a
anything.
great project.
Yep.
And a lot of writing from Tapas actually goes on Free Code Camp. It's been going on for 2-3 years, and I was one of the humble readers for the same. So yeah,
Yeah, it's been. Yeah, so I think that I just want to kind of end by saying it's like the intent is very clear. Intent is like we are a developer community, and the developer's job today is not about coding. It's 360 degree. I told about networking, community. It's also about blogging, content creation, and all those things. And if you look into the pyramid, the beginners lies at the bottom with the maximum number, and the experts lies at the top with the minimalistic number, right? So how do you move from the bottom of the pyramid to the top of the pyramid? Just by following the experiences so that your learning curve become minimal, right? You don't spend a lot of time what an experienced person have already spent. So through ReactPlay project, our aim is that we want you to learn web development and content creation, writing, all those things. So join us and let's learn together. That's it.
thank you, folks. I think it's time to end the event. Thank you so much, Tapas. Thanks, Kaushal. Thanks everybody for joining for the event.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Yep. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you, everyone.